Russia has historically been European Union's largest gas supplier.
European energy is closely linked to the conflict in Ukraine. Here's why.
Everybody now is watching what type of sanctions could hit Russia if Russia really decides to invade Ukraine. Russia could retaliate using energy, and actually about a third of all gas that Europe consumes comes from Russia nowadays.
So this has traders and analysts on edge, and Vanessa says they see three possible scenarios of what can happen to European energy in case of Russia invading Ukraine. The first one is the most positive, in which Russia doesn't cut supplies to Europe, Europe keeps having a mild winter, and LNG vessels keep arriving at European ports, which has so far helped Europe overcome its huge energy crisis. The second scenario would be a more negative one, in which we would see Russia cutting supplies, but Europe would still keep having a mild winter, meaning that demand for natural gas used in heating would be limited. The worst case scenario is the one in which Russia cuts supplies to Europe, and Europe has a cold spell, meaning heating demand would increase while supplies would lower. That would be the worst situation Europe could face, which could end up with drastic low levels of European gas supplies, causing real problems to energy markets. But how likely is Russia to just go ahead and cut supplies to Europe?
So most people I talk to find it very unlikely that Russia could really cut all energy supplies, even in the case of a potential war. That could hurt Russia's image and reputation as a reliable partner, what could make Europe to strengthen and just diversifying its energy supplies away from Russia. And everybody now is obviously looking and considering what are the options that could actually make Europe more independent from these geopolitical tensions that can emerge really anytime.
A question that some analysts answer by saying Europe has no alternative, that the volume of gas the EU needs can't be replaced by one supplier without redistributing deliveries to other regions. So it would require a massive effort from a number of suppliers to diversify Europe's energy dependence. A good example of why this is complicated is by looking at the way US is supplying LNG gas to Europe. And together with other nations, it's helping displace dependence on Russia. But even that measure isn't guaranteed to last. If China's appetite for gas reawakens, those LNG tankers will quickly abandon Europe and head eastward. So diversifying is not easy.
We are already experiencing high natural gas and electricity prices all over the world, especially in Europe. And we are seeing already inflation rates accelerating, industrial production being reduced. We are seeing tensions escalating between Ukraine and Russia that all can mean this crisis can get even worse.